All right, let's talk about attacking to the left. First step move out of the triple threat. As you can see here, I have a pretty solid idea of how I think it should go as for what's effective, when to use it, and how it's not a violation. So you see this dude is closing out on me, so I can just blow by if I want or take a shot. He closes out to my right hand, and I can go by him with the ball protected with my body in between it. Really easy blow by. Something to think about is if I want to go forward and to the left, I need to push off back and to the right. Why is that? That's just basic physics. If a ball is going to bounce in one direction, it bounced from the previous direction, right? If you throw a ball out off a wall, it's going to come directly the opposite direction from whence it came, right? So if I want to go forward and to the left, I need to push hard back and to the right with my right foot, which you see here, push hard. And the ball is out of my hand, and my left foot is still on the ground, which demonstrates how this is a clean look. Something to think about here is the right foot has to be the foot. So even though I'm pushing hard off the right foot, I'm taking another right foot step here, right? My right foot hits the ground 2 steps in a row. So in a sense, it's a consecutive step move. And what we get out of that is pushing hard, it's fast, it's clean, it's one step, blows by the defender, and it's pretty effective. I think that it's really good for right-handers to drive left and left-handers to drive right, and it's actually a pretty safe move, really clean, and that's basically how it goes. The right foot is a lot different, so I'm going to be talking about that. That I want to have more of a conversation on. My lefty is pretty clean, and I think that this is something that you can take. Push hard, use the same foot, protect the ball with your body, and easy blow by if they close out. Alright, now for the real conversation of the video, which is driving to the right or the strong side, which has a much higher potential for being a violation, which is what I want to talk about, and start a conversation on this as well. So, as most of you guys know, say you're a right-handed player, driving to the right out of the triple threat, it's generally expected that you should be able to take 4 steps to a layup. 1 dribble, 4 steps. It's either that or 2 steps, 1 dribble, which is not going to get you to the rim, or 6 steps, 2 dribbles, right? Does that make sense? Going to the left, it's going to be 3 steps and a dribble, which is very rarely a violation, as we saw. Now, there's an issue here in that you need to be able to get those 4 steps to get back to the strong hand if you don't want to reverse it. 6 steps is just, more than 1 dribble, obviously. But you got to cheat at some point if you're going to be able to do this. So you see this at all levels. I see this pretty much get clear in the NBA, but it gets called at sometimes at all levels. I've had this travel called on me. I've also had it not called many times. I'll be talking about a couple travels in this, but as you can see, where it freezes, my foot is way off the ground with the ball still in my hands. Right? But how are we gonna get those 4 steps if we're not doing that, right? Maybe we could just not take 4 steps. My solution has been, for the most part, avoid this. Try to go left if I can, and try to attack with the ball already on the ground if I can. But there's opportunities where I need to get right. Like right here, I have a wide open lane, so I'm just going to go. But if this is a turnover, that's a huge turnover, as this is just like basically a layup or an open shot right here. So that's a lot to think about. As for the momentum, we're driving hard forward and to the right. As our conversation with the lefty, we need to push hard with the left foot, which you're going to see here. Pushing hard and back to the left foot. But that left foot getting picked up, the left foot is the pivot foot, right? So this is a travel. It's like the exact same. But at the same time, how else are we going to get those 4 steps? So it's a huge issue at every level, actually. Officiating is inconsistent, so that's why I want to start a conversation on it. Something else to think about is you're seeing me take a momentum jump right as the ball comes to me. Oops. Sorry about that noise. You sit right here, and my right foot is on the ground before the ball hits me, and then I move. So that could be called as a travel as well, and the timing on that is really tough. I have a lot of thoughts on that, but there's a big advantage to being in the air before the ball hits your hand, as it allows you to explode in whatever you're doing, right? A bouncy ball. I want to be coming down from the air, and then I can bounce, right? In order to attack, transfer that momentum, attack hard. I want to be a bouncy ball and come down in the air. But if you're doing the thing where you're catching the ball and then moving, there's a chance that you catch the ball and then take your little hop and then go, which can be a travel. So there's an opportunity for 2 travels to be called in this play. But there's a high chance nothing gets called as well, and that's just kind of the way basketball goes in some ways. I'd like to be 100% clean, and I'd like to encourage my players to be 100% clean, but at the same time, I think this is a part of basketball. If you agree or disagree, definitely sound off. I'd like to see some footage on NBA players doing this and getting away with this, or doing this and getting called, but this is kind of what you see, and it definitely works. It's effective. Just the one issue is this going to get called? Because if you can't do this move, then you can't take 4 steps to the right. You can't get a layup off of one dribble with the right hand, which is a big problem. So big problem either way. Good conversation.